I'm Paul Wolf, and this is My City TV.
Talking about my city. Jackson, Mississippi.
Welcome. Savannah Willis is here with us today. She's the co-manager of the Muslims, Christians, and Jews exhibit for the International Museum of Muslim Cultures here in Jackson. Welcome, and how did I do?
You did good. You did really good. It's a mouthful. Okay. It's a mouthful. Trust me, I have to figure it out sometimes because all of our exhibits have very long names.
Yes, they do, but very meaningful names. And we're going to talk more about that soon. I want to know all about you. You and I had a chance to catch up in person last week, and I enjoyed getting to know you better. But for the folks who weren't in on our conversation last week, tell me a little more about yourself.
I am a mom, first and foremost, and a wife here in Jackson, Mississippi, my home. I've actually been here for oh my gosh, since I was about 6. So I claim this as my home, even though I was born in Georgia, in Atlanta, Georgia, and I lived there till I was about 6. I am, of course, involved as a JPS parent. I am a poet. I am a daughter of a journalist and a former blues singer that passed away in 2013. Robert Chick Willis, the Stoop Down Man, and Brenda Willis, a writer for the Jackson Advocate newspaper, a former Tougaloo student, former Murrah student, former Pineywood student. I've jumped around a little bit, just a little bit, but yeah, just a Jacksonian, I guess, all around.
That's all good stuff, and I know you have a passion for the city, and that's something I want to talk about a little later on too. Let's dive in a little deeper. Give me just a brief backstory of how you came to be at the International Museum of Muslim Cultures.
So I actually came to be at the museum through becoming a Muslim. I actually took my Shahada, which is our affirmation of faith. I took that in 2013. I was born into the Christian faith and moved around in that denomination a little bit as a child and as well as an adult. And my questions actually led me to Islam. So during one of the iftar dinners that we were having during Ramadan, I was introduced back then to Sister Okolo Rashid and her daughter, Khadijah Rashid. I was introduced to them on a social level. It didn't have anything to do with the museum. I don't even think I knew that the museum was a thing. Actually, my mom has been writing for the Advocate since I was like in 8th grade. So it's been forever. And the Advocate was very involved with the opening of the first exhibit at the museum. But I ended up going to Masjid Muhammad, which is where I'm currently, I guess you could call me a member. There's not really traditional membership within the masjid. I never really paid that masjid any attention growing up, though. I passed it numerous times and ended up there, got to know the community, ended up getting offered a job at the International Museum of Muslim Cultures through Sister Okolo Rashid, and have been there since 2019.
Yeah, you told me the other day when we were in person that you were in retail, but you were looking for a change, and this opportunity came along at the right time for you.
It's actually ironic. So the International Museum of Muslim Cultures was founded in 2001 by Imad Al-Turk and Sister Okolo Rashid. I met Imad Al-Turk, the founder, when I was 14. There was only 2 places you could actually work, like legally, at 14. And it was Sonic and Marble Slab Creamery on County Line Road. I started at Marble Slab. It was an awesome working experience. It was a great environment because it was managed by Mad's daughter. It's just ironic that my career path sort of brought me back around to Imad and Miss Karen, as I call her. I always call her Miss Karen to this day. I was so blessed, and I've been able to work with amazing nonprofit organizations through my association at the museum. I've moved up while I was there. I started off as just a docent, giving the tours of the exhibit. Now, my title is co-manager of the exhibit, but also I'm in charge of a little bit more of our social media, as well as curating online virtual programming.
Savannah is a big Jackson fan, and we're going to learn more about her love for the city and more about why she chooses Jackson, Mississippi as home. We'll do that with Savannah Willis right after this.
So pretty. This looks so good.
Back with Savannah Willis here on My City TV. Before the break, we talked about your work at the International Museum of Muslim Cultures, how it's helped to sharpen your faith as well. But you've got another side to you. You're a poet, right?
Yes, yes, I am a poet, a self-published poet. Published two books of poetry. Yeah,
Oh,
collection.
wow. Yeah, what are
I
the books
published the
called and
first.
where can we find
Okay.
them?
You can find What Happened While I Was Waiting, a collection of poeticisms, as well as 30 Before 30, Sooner Rather Than Later, both on www.savannahwillis.com.
Oh, a little plug time
Yeah,
there. Okay.
yeah.
Good stuff. What do you typically write about, Savannah?
I mean, I write about my experience. I write about my life. I write about my journey. I write about what goes on around me in my world. Yeah.
City with soul, city with spirit, city singing and sanctified with sin and secret, city of salvation, of sophistication, a sustainable safe haven, straightforward, city of scholars with scriptures signed in the sky, city with summer in its soil is supernatural, city that's sweet and smooth and spring scented, city of sacrifice and long suffering, of sentimentality and sustainability, city with a slight skepticism behind a smile, a southern style, shady yet subtle, a city that's seductive and shy, a city that's silent and screaming and shouting, a city that's shucking and jiving, a city that's surviving and thriving, a city that's striving and successful, often stressful, selfless and selfish all in one, simultaneously, a city that's special and sacred, a city with song and symphony, a city that made me, city of Samaritans, the city that saved me, my city. Jack? Yes!
You recently have gotten really excited about something that's going on here in Jackson, Mississippi. The Metro Jackson Attractions Association has put out this little passport book that if you take it around to attractions and restaurants here in the area and get a stamp, well, you collect all the stamps, or you collect 6 stamps, I think it is. You get a free T-shirt, but you're on a mission to do more than 6 stamps, right?
Definitely. I am on a mission. I want to get as many stamps as possible. I actually have mine right here. It's a little worn, but I am on a mission to get all of the stamps. I'm super excited. Of course, the museum, the International Museum of Muslim Cultures, is in here, but almost all of the museums, so many great restaurants, the outlets of Mississippi, like there's so much to do in here for your family, for just you, if you need some me time, for a date night. It's a great way to get back involved in the city now that everything is opening up and everybody is practicing social distancing and doing everything safe. So it's awesome.
Yeah, and have you gotten a bunch of stamps so far?
I have gotten a lot of stamps so far. I got my last stamp was actually this past Saturday. My daughter and I went to the Mississippi Natural Museum of Science. I hope I'm not like mixing that up. I always
Close
mix up the
enough. Close
title.
enough.
Yeah. But I forgot that Nature Trail was 2 miles, but it was awesome. The weather was
it
great and we had a
it's
good
a
time.
hike.
Yes, it is. It is. But it's so much fun. And my daughter, she's 5. Seeing it through her eyes, it was amazing.
Yeah, it's a good time for families, for couples, for singles, anybody that wants to get out and about and use that passport book. You can pick those up at most Jackson attractions, some restaurants, and of course, the JXN Welcome Center at 308 East Pearl Street downtown. All right, Savannah, last question. I always ask this of everybody. You are from Atlanta, you told me, but you grew up here in Jackson and you stayed in Jackson. Maybe you could move elsewhere, but you choose to stay here. Why do you want to make Jackson, Mississippi a better place?
I just think there is something about Jackson. There, we have a spirit here. We have a soul here. It's a beautiful place. There are beautiful people, and it's real. Once you get past the negative image, the people are amazing, and there's so much opportunity here in Jackson.
There really is. You are the co-manager of the International Museum of Muslim Cultures Christians, Jews, and Muslims exhibit. You're a docent, you're a poet, you're a mom, you're a Jacksonian. Savannah Willis, thanks so much for being here today.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I had a great time.
That's the show. Check us out at jxn.ms and join us for another episode of My City TV.